So this week we are talking about the 11 different organ systems that are present throughout the body. First is the circulatory system, and this function is to mediate movement. Um, it's about transporting oxygen and nutrients to all the organs and then removing the waste from them. So it's the movement of nutrients and oxygen as well as waste to and from the organs. The tissues present in this are blood and lymph circulatory systems, which are made up of connective tissue, and then also the cardiac muscle is present for the heart. And these different tissue types help the blood flow, transport nutrients and oxygen, and then the lymph helps with the drainage of anything back to the heart. The second system is the integumentary, which is involved in protection for mechanical, water loss, biological, any of those sort of pathogens that could come into the body. And this is made up of epithelium, and the epithelial tissue that we talked about last week provides all the same functions as skin, so that was pretty obvious to know that the tissue type was epithelial. Second is skeletal tissue, and this is the connective tissue, the bone, cartilage, tendons, and ligaments, and these help. The bone is for protection. Cartilage provides a smooth surface so that there's not a lot of friction between the bones. And then the joints, ligaments, and tendons help allow for movement, stretching, and returning back to the original shape. Then there is the immune system or the lymphatic system, and this is involved with protection and fighting against our pathogens. This is made up of macrophages, neutrophils, natural killer T cells, and a bunch of different other cells. And these different types of cells, especially ones that have antibodies, are able to help with secondary recognition. So that's an important tissue function relationship so that we can recognize pathogens if they come again. And then there is the respiratory system, and this helps take in oxygen and make it ready to send throughout the entire body. This involves muscles as well as epithelium. The muscles involved are the intercostals and the diaphragm that help expand and contract to get in the most air and then expel it so that we can get the most oxygen efficiently to the rest of our body. There's also then the muscular system. We learned about this type of tissue last week. So the muscles as the tissues all grouped together help with contraction of movement of our limbs. And there's different types, the cardiac, skeletal, and smooth that we learned about last week, but this particular organ system involves only skeletal muscle. And then these different muscle tissue fibers all together help move the skeleton. Then there is the nervous tissue, which we also learned about last week, which helps relay information between the brain and the rest of the body. And this is the nervous tissue that's present, and it helps, like I said, relay information down the neuron through the axon into the synapse and then onto another dendrite or to an organ to stimulate any type of movement or any other information that's being passed down. Then there is the endocrine system, which involves in the synthesis and secretion of hormones, and these are secretory epithelium. And this function works together. The secretory epithelium is what allows the hormones to be made and secreted into the rest of our body so that it can signal any sort of hormonal response. Then there is the digestive system, which helps break down food and absorb it for nutrients. This involves a muscular tube, the smooth muscle, which helps move food all the way down from throughout the entire GI tract. And then there is also epithelium that helps with the absorption. And so that's that one. And then there's the urinary tract, which is involved in homeostasis, maintaining water levels and acid-base concentrations, as well as excreting toxins. And this is also epithelium, which allows for absorption and secretion within the nephron. That's the main cell within the kidney. And then lastly, there's the reproductive system, which helps to produce sex cells and allows for fertilization. This is muscle, epithelium, and nervous tissue all together work together so that the sperm and egg can meet together to ultimately fertilize. So that was just a quick summary of the 11 different organ systems, and I can't wait to learn a little bit more about them. Thanks.